Hello, this is Chad with Syncfusion, and a customer asks about our Angular diagram control. Specifically, they want to limit how many connectors come off of a particular node. So let's look at it. Here's the actual customer question. They have a decision shape, and they're going to have a yes-no on it. So they've asked us how to limit the connections coming off of that particular node. And it only makes sense for the decision, it only makes sense to limit the connections coming off to 2 from the yes and from the no. And they didn't ask us how to actually name a port. So we didn't do that, but we do show them how to limit what comes out of a node. And let's take a look at that. So here's our sample. And just to kind of show you what we're doing, we have our decision node right here. And we are going to limit how many nodes connectors can come off of that. So I just drug 2, and I can't drag another one. It doesn't let me. But if I pick a different node, and I want to connect here, maybe I want to connect here, that's 2, here's 3, here's 4, here's 5. So there's no limit to the other nodes on this page. Okay, so let's show what we did. First, we'll walk through the HTML. This is our diagram control. We have created some collection of nodes, and the nodes have a name, or have a type rather, a shape parameter, terminator, process, and one of these is the actual decision node. This is the decision node right here. So this is the one that we're going to limit. So let me show you how we did that. Here is our code. Now, a couple things about this. Our controls are built in vanilla TypeScript, and then we go through the steps of building them out for Angular, React, Vue, or JavaScript. And these modules are in the Angular diagram. Now, the modules here are in our base diagram class. These modules are going to be the exact same regardless of your JavaScript platform. We go through here, we create some objects, define the diagram component, and then we're going to add our shapes into the project here. So these are important. If I get rid of them, then you're going to see the default shape for a shape. It's just a little rectangle. So let's put these back because it's a lot prettier with shapes. And let's step in here, no defaults. So this is going to default it to 145 if we don't define a width. I'm not going to play with that. The style, this is our fill and our stroke color. If I change this, then you can see the actual diagrams are going to change. There's now a little black line around it. Zoom in, you can see that. And I'm going to change it back. And then the annotations. These are the annotations here in the middle. So you can change the color of that. Put little styles on top of that. Next, we are adding some ports to the nodes. That's down here in our get ports method. And there's 4 different types of ports. We have an X, a square, a circle, and custom. This particular path will give us a triangle. So you'll see that in just a second. So if we try to make a connection, on this node, you're going to see a triangle here, and a circle, then a square, and an X. So if we want to change this path, we could be any shape you want to put there. And these numbers here are actually, it's a decimal, but really it's a percentage. The way we have this defined as far as the port positioning, 0 to 1 and 0 to 1. That was the X and Y direction. So if I move the Y here to, let's go with 9, that's 90%. And let's go ahead and make a connection. You're going to see that now it's down here at the 90% rate. Okay, so that's what that is. Now the handles. The handle is this guy here. This little accent arrow in a circle, that's our handle. If I move this to the right, which is where it should be based upon the actual directions of the arrow, then there we go. This is an outgoing connection. Okay, now what we're actually doing to stop this, we're handling the selection change event. So here, selection changed, the selection just changed. On the change event, we're looking at the type of shape. If it's a decision shape, then we're going to make this parameter true. If it's not, it'll be false. And that's going to be the key where we're limiting the connections coming off. So on the user handle mouse down, that's this event right here. We're going to look to see, is it true or false? If it is if it is not a decision, then we're going to let you make the connection. Or if it is a decision and this particular node has less than 2 out edges. So what is an out edge? Okay, an edge is any connector that's hitting the edge of the node. So we call those edges. And a connector can come into a node or it can come out of a node. That's our in and out. And if you look here, all of our ports, the diagram ports, we have a collection of in and a collection of out. So we come up here. Now, for ease of use, we wrap, if you want to get the out edges for a node, it takes a collection of all the out edges from all the ports. And you can just iterate through them that way. These in and out edges, that's how you iterate through our diagram in code. So we're doing that. So if this particular node was a decision node and it has 2 or greater connections, then we do not let all this happen. And that was it. That's all there was to it. Thank you for watching.